Hi everyone, this is Rajkumar D, Assistant Professor from Department of Information Technology, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. So we are going through the lecture series in information visualization for the past 2 months, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about types of data. So in the previous many lectures we have discussed a lot of things about information visualization. So in all the cases we have talked about data, we are converting this data into visualization. The data has to be properly handled, or the data has to be processed. The data quality has to be enriched, and from various sources the data can be extracted. So all the informations about data we have discussed, but this session we are going to discuss about types of data. What are the different types of data, that is the nature of those data which we are going to taken into for different techniques, and finally rendering it as the visualization output. So it is very important to know about the type, nature, the data is going to accommodate, the kind of information is going to communicate. So understanding various types of data is very important process in information visualization. Now let us discuss about the different types of data. Types of data refers to the abstract classes that differ in what kind of relationships and visual encodings are meaningful. So we are going to provide data. Okay, so if you have different formats of data, you can take an Excel file, you can take a Word file, you can take an audio, you can take a video, and sometimes images. Okay, so we'll be having different kinds of data. So we need to categorize into some quantity so that it can be processed and taken into visualization process. So this author of this book we are using, where distinguishes several broad classes of data that a visualization designer must recognize. First one is the nominal, that is the categorical data. So it is going to be in distinct named categories with no inherent ordering, such as country, product type, or eye color. So it is going to have no inherent ordering. So it is going to be a distinct. So that is what we mean by categorical data. Next one is ordinal. So the categories that have a meaningful order but not necessarily equal spacing between levels, such as low, medium, or high, or an like Likert scale responses. So this kind of data is going to be considered as ordinal data. Next one is the quantitative, which are all numerical values with a distinct differences, or are involved in overall representation of ratios which are quite meaningful, such as temperature. Temperature measured in a period of 30 minutes or in a period of 1 minute. And length. Length is going to be the equal proportions, that is either 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter or 10 centimeter. Next one is the income in terms of rupees. So this interval of data will be having a meaningful differences, but there is no zero is allowed. But whereas in ordinal, zero is allowed. So here there is no true zero. So the ratio data also have a meaningful zero, whereas twice as much, or half as much, or thrice as much, or a 10 times long, or a 15 times long. Okay, so that is going to be the meaningful representation. Those kind of representation can be termed as quantitative information. So where distinguishes the broad classes into nominal, ordinal, and quantitative, we have other representation also. So beyond this, we can have some classic measurement scales. So these are also very important, for such as spatial and non-spatial. So here the data that are inherently identified by location in terms of either two-dimensional or three-dimensional spaces. For example, geometry x and y axis, and in 3D spaces also. So it is going to be provided abstract attributes like sales or rating. So in that way we are going to represent. Next one is the temporal data, where values are indexed by time, such as series or sequences or durations. Sometimes we encounter multivariate and additional data, where there is going to be we are going to provide multiple attributes per item. For example, if we have student, we will be having first name, middle name, last name. Okay, so there is going to be some relationship between those items, which can be sometimes we may it may be represented in networks, or sometimes in trees or graphs. Next one is the metadata. It is going to be the information about information, or an descriptive information about the actual data itself. For example, if you are taking an image, you can just say in what time it is taken, in what quality it is taken, what is the pixel, sorry, what is going to be the size occupied by the that image, what is its brightness, what is its saturation point. Okay, so all these informations are additional informations about an image. So any data will be having a more descriptive information about those data, which is highly significant sometimes. Okay, so these types of data are called metadata. So that may be also sometimes it may be visually encoded. So that is the very important thing about different types of data, and why need to be understood very clearly, and have an awareness about those entities. So why these data types are very much important in terms of design. Okay, so whenever we are working with nominal variables, they are best differentiated by features that signal distinction, but there is no order. For example, hue, shape, and distinct markers. Whenever we are working with ordinal variables, so the benefits from encoding that convey ranking or projection, such as ordered, lightness, size, or position along a line, so it also needs to be represented. So quantitative variables require encoding that support accurate comparison of magnitude, especially position, length, and align scales. Okay, so these are all some attributes of different types of variables, which is very very important, and we need to understand it very clearly when as a visualization engineer or a visualization personnel. So here is a very deep, very simple explanation about all those things with core meaning and examples, so that you can easily understand. So nominal means there is going to be different kinds, but there is no specific order. Like for example, we can have a eye color, blue, brown, then we have green. Other values is also available. Then types of pets, dog, cat, bird. Other values is also available. So there is no order, or there is a no specific kind. Next one is ordinal. So all ordered categories. For example, we are filling a Google form for attending an faculty development program. So we'll be rating those sessions in the points of scales like very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied. So all these things are ordered quantities which have specific values. Those things are called ordinal. Next one is interval, which is going to be a numeric equal steps, but there is no zero. For example, temperature measured in different intervals of time, like morning it was 10 degrees Celsius, afternoon it was 20 degrees Celsius, in the evening it was 30 degrees Celsius, or a population of a city in 1990, 2000, then 2010, 2020, 20, in the interval of 10 years or 5 years, we can have ratio. It is going to be numeric equal steps, but there is going to be a true zero. So for examples like twice as much, half as much. Next one is spatial, all GPS coordinates, satellite imaginary data. Next one is temporal data, the values indexed by time. For example, January 5, 2024, the date, then time exactly. Next one is a relational, that is a link between entities like graphs and trees, primary key and foreign key relationships, or one to one, one to many, many to one relationships. For example, metadata, you can just take an example of image or a photo which you are going to take. What is its location, what time it is taken, what camera you are going to use, what is going to be the pixel, what is going to be the size, geographical coordinates, anything you can take for that particular photo. So by looking at this table, we can get an easily understanding about different types of data we are going to encounter in visualization, and what is its important, and why a data visualization engineer should be very aware of the presence of different kinds of data. With this, we come to the end of this session. I hope this session is very useful. Let us meet in the next session. Thank you.